everybody. Welcome to another episode of Cannabis Tech Talks. You're chopping it up with Chuck. I'm the editor-in-chief of Cannabis and Tech today, and we are bringing you great content from MJ Biz. And my next guest, I'm super excited to have. But first, we got to give a shout out to our sponsor, Polyscience and Summit Research. Without them, we can't keep the lights on. And also a big shout out to MJ Biz for letting us post up here and be a partner. So we are excited to talk with Kayla from Effective Games. We have Kayla Hurd from Effective Games and the So High Game Show. Welcome.
Thank you. It's really great to be here today. And all weekend, it's been, or week, God, it's still the week. It's been a long one, but we're happy to be here. Thanks for having us on.
Yeah, no, so excited. Now, we are actually very excited because you are one of the first original shows that is going to be on CBD TV, which is our streaming channel. So people listening right now, make sure you download. You can get it on the Roku, Apple TV, Amazon. You can go to cbdtv.us. There's an app, and we're just getting up and going, but we're going to have great content, and that's what I want to talk to you about, is great content. You are the co-producer, is that right?
Yeah, so my co-founder of the company, Chris Abney, was the producer of the season that people will be seeing when they go on CBD TV, season 2.
Okay.
We had great success with season 1 on YouTube, so this is a big upgrade for us going on to this platform. We're really grateful for the opportunity. As far as we know, we're the first independently produced cannabis game show to be on television. Everything else has been produced by a network that's cannabis themed. So we're really, taking it to the next level, keeping it grassroots while staying true, but also taking it up a notch and putting the entertainment out there for everybody to see. So season 3 will start filming in April.
Okay.
And we're really excited for that as well. So get their fix now of season 2, and then they'll get to see season 3 next year.
So what's the premise of the show? Like, give the audience like a little sneak peek.
Yeah, wonderful. So it's the So High Game Show.
Yeah.
Right. So the purpose is let's get so high, and that's in every facet. Let's get so high in our education. Let's elevate ourselves on every way. And so with the game show, there's multiple different games that competitors play against each other to accumulate points, and each round's worth a certain amount of points, and whoever wins at the end wins some money or some cannabis, whatever.
Okay,
We're looking good, but
yeah.
They win some money at the end if they win. So that's always a good incentive to get onto a game show, right?
Yeah.
But one of the games is Build a Bong, for instance. We give the contestants random items. Some of them are useless, and they have to try to figure out how to build this bong out of it. And the first one to take a puff and blow it out, they win that round. And so that's a really fun part of it. And then we get them, nice and high first, right?
Yeah.
And then we go on to Canna Q's, which is our cannabis quiz part of the game show.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of fun because it's an edification. We're learning while we're having a blast.
Yeah.
Whether we retain that information might be another story. But it really is a fun way to interact and learn, and then take it to the next level with cannabis.
Do they ever get paranoid? Because, you start overthinking because you're high, and then it's like, oh, here come the questions. And do they ever freeze up?
So good.
No?
So far, so good. We're 2 seasons in. People do say, oh, I knew that. We get that a lot, where maybe they weren't fast enough on that
right
buzzer.
there.
Or they'll hit the buzzer and then they forgot, but they knew it. And so it gives it, a little bit with being in the spotlight. But for the most part, our contestants are really great.
They hold it together.
Yeah,
they can hold their weed.
Yeah, they can.
So where did this idea come from? Where did this brainchild? Because I bet you there was some weed smoking involved when you came up with the idea of the show.
Yeah, so Christopher Abney, co-founder, actually the original founder of Effective Games, he is the one who came up with this. So he was sitting around and trying to find a cool cannabis card game. He's a very competitive person, like most of us are. It's human nature. And really trying to find something that fed that competitive side and was a little bit educational and fun. Like you can smoke weed or not when you play our games.
Sure.
If you want to smoke CBD or not smoke at all, we have in-home entertainment options for that too. Exactly. Yeah. So it actually started with in-home entertainment games. It started with a game called Smoko Hempix, and it was cannabis in a tube, and taking this around to communities and playing it at community events and getting people really hyped up playing these games that you actually see on the game show now in a community setting. And one of his best friends said, man, you should make a game show out of this. And he was like, absolutely. That's not even on my radar, there's no way. And then he thought about it, so that's actually a really good idea. I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
And so that was the birth of the game show, was through cannabis entertainment competition and education that the baby was born.
It's funny how inspiration strikes.
That's true.
We launched our very first magazine, was called Innovation in Tech Today, and it covers gaming and cybersecurity and smart home and drones and all that kind of cool stuff. But we had the idea, and I think there may have been some cannabis involved. And we had the idea. We were like, what if we had a cannabis tech magazine? And we were like, what are we going to call it? And we couldn't figure it out. It was seriously months. We had just talked about this. We do this cannabis tech magazine. Yeah, what are we going to call it? I don't know. And then one day it just hit me. May have been some weed involved.
That's what hit you.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden it was Cannabis in Tech Today. I was like, I got it. I had to text someone before we lost it, and boom, there it was. It was born. So, it might take a minute to get it going, but once you have that idea, and once you get it going, it seems like if it's a good idea, it's going to be a hit.
It's going to be a hit. And then we put the passion behind it.
Yeah.
So that's a big thing. A lot of people have really great ideas when they get high. As a community, we haven't always remembered those ideas afterwards. So putting, staying on the course and being productive with it, and really having a mission behind what you're doing.
Yeah.
And the whole purpose is to continue to bring cannabis into the mainstream to where it doesn't have this stigma behind it anymore.
Right.
We have my Christian mother in the south of Texas played our games.
Really?
And loved it. She was like, I learned a lot, especially with our history and chemistry categories that we add into our in-home entertainment games based on games from the game show. Can Accuse is one particular that I brought today, so I'll quiz you here in a second on that one.
All right.
And really just being able to give this to anybody and they can play it, and even if they don't know the answers, they can still have fun because they learned something. And it's hilarious. It's a funny game. Yeah.
Well, I want to play.
Okay. All right. Pick a category. We've got music, history, movies, and chemistry.
Okay. I'm gonna go movies.
You're gonna go movies.
Yeah.
Okay. This is my worst category for me. I always get movies wrong. So let's see if you can outwit.
Pineapple Express.
In How High, what motivational chant did Jamal use while practicing for Harvard's rowing team? A, row and blow. B, stroke and smoke. Or C, high and by.
Smoke and stroke?
You got it.
Yes.
All right. So that's one.
Actually friends with Redman, so that would have been really shitty if I got that wrong.
I chose that card for you on purpose because I wanted to make sure Redman was talking about getting into How High 3 last night at the High Times event. So I had to make sure that
is so
funny. I took care of him and threw a question in there.
Dude, he's the best. He's the best. OG.
All right, pick one more category.
Okay, let's go history.
History. All right. Which U.S. president, used cannabis for back pain before and during their term? A, John F. Kennedy, B, Bill Clinton, or C, Thomas Jefferson?
Thomas Jefferson.
It was John F. Kennedy. Yes. And so Kennedy, is known for being in the wheelchair. He had all the back pain and actually consumed cannabis before and during his term for his back pain.
What?
So little known fact. So we really try to encourage. You've been in the cannabis space a long time. So that's the purpose of a lot of these questions is somebody learns something and they're able to take that back out into their communities and be like, man, John F. Kennedy was smoking this weed. There ain't nothing wrong with me doing it,
Okay, I'm 1-1. We got to
do
one more.
Okay, all right. So you haven't done music or chemistry yet?
Music.
Okay.
Music moves the soul.
That's right. All right. I think you've got this one.
Oh, man.
What singer was kicked out of a hotel room in her Barbados hometown for smoking weed? A, Doja Cat, B, Jocelyn Hernandez, or C, Rihanna?
Rihanna.
It's Rihanna.
Is it Rihanna?
Girl, yes.
Ree.
Yes. It's Ree. She's our girl.
Got
Good
it.
job.
Yes. Thank you. I was sweating that. You almost threw me for a loop with the Doja Cat.
I did.
I was like, oh shit, is it Doja Cat?
It definitely could have been Doja Cat, but it was Rihanna. Our girl Riri.
That's cool.
Doing it again.
She's amazing. Well, no, this is incredible. So, what kind of sponsors do you get on the show? This is a chance where you can kind of plug some of them. Like, do you do like product placement? Do you do how does that work?
Yeah, so for season 3, which we'll be shooting in April, we are bringing on onboarding sponsors right now.
Okay.
So we have anybody from cannabis companies who want their weed to be the weed that gets smoked on our game show to companies who want us to implement their product into the game somehow.
Yeah.
So we have a CBD beverage company who we're developing a game for right now called Chug-a-Mug, and we'll see what happens with that. It's a proposal. So hopefully you'll see Chug-a-Mug in the future on one of our shows. But we also have anybody who's wants to deal with the general cannabis consumer or somebody in the cannabis business space.
Yeah.
So one of our actually biggest viewerships on YouTube is people who own their own cannabis businesses because they're looking for cannabis entertainment to keep it in the vein of learning, And so if you can learn and have a good time and laugh, that's really the sweet spot. And our sponsors, bong companies, they find ways to get in there, have some really cool product placement. We can develop questions in our card games actually around certain industries. So we could put a history question in about what year your company was founded or those types of things, and really bring more exposure to companies who have a hard time with marketing. The problem with cannabis marketing is it is so limited on what you're allowed to do. I mean, you really can't, a lot of times can't put up a commercial on television because you're marketing marijuana. So what we can kind of get around that with different things like in-home card games and branding our games with different logos and those types of things so that people get that exposure. But during season 2, we've still got a little bit of ad space available for our different platforms for season 2. And so if anybody has a good commercial that they want to play, like we just talked about all these amazing platforms they're airing on, we're passing it down, the generosity that's been shared with us around this community, we're passing that on, and these ad spaces are very affordable. So if anybody's looking to get their product in front of the consumer.
You guys heard that here. And by the way, we have some great advertisers and sponsors that might make sense for that. So we'll definitely have to talk after the show, and maybe there might be some crossover there.
Definitely. That would be wonderful. I think really one of the coolest things about the game show and getting ready to shoot season 3 is we're autonomous. As an independently produced game show, we don't have to answer back to a network. So if somebody has an idea and it's not something that anybody's done before or not something we've done before, all they've got to do is email me, and we'll have a conversation and we'll find a way to blow this up together. It's let's get so high.
Let's do it. And that's one of the reasons, that we wanted CBD TV, because everything is going streaming now. So I believe they've just tilted over to where more people watch on streaming than cable. Right now. So that's a big deal. Like, I have an 18-year-old son. He doesn't even know how to work the cable on my TV. Like, seriously, I've seen him. He's like a monkey trying to hump a football, trying to figure out how to get a game on or something. I'm like, dude, come here, man. You go to the input and you do this, but everything is streaming. And you're right, social is crap because they shadow ban us. They can just
blatantly ban us.
Just pull the account for no rhyme or reason. The cool thing about the streaming is, like you said, it's our sandbox. We can invite who we want in there. We don't have to worry about censorship. Anybody can download it because everybody's got, Roku or Apple TV or Amazon or just a device.
Well, and the numbers show it in themselves. With Roku, I was looking up their numbers when we very first started talking, and in 2 years they've doubled their viewership for just around 30 million monthly active viewers to over 62 million monthly active viewers. And so they're expecting to double again over the next 2 years on Roku. And that just shows the shift of the streaming. And Roku's a free service. And that's the thing. Once you purchase your Fire Stick for Roku, you're good. You're not having to pay for those services continually. So that's a really big shift that we're seeing, and so we're really excited to, of course, be on all of these platforms. But Roku is this up-and-coming, growing platform that more people are going to be able to utilize. And let's be honest, keeping $1 in your pocket means a lot these days. And so if you can cancel a streaming service that's charging you $19.99 or more a month and go to Roku that has so many possibilities. You just download CBD TV and you can spend days of content on there and we've just launched.
I mean, we're literally just getting started. But one of the nice things as well is that it's very hard to get commercials on network television if it has anything to do with cannabis, right? Like, that's been a big no-no, and FCC and everything like that. But with this, on this streaming platform, in fact, I think we've produced thousands of promos with your game that is going to go out to people that are streaming. And if they happen to be, falling into the category where it might make sense, they can target the ads to what the viewers like. So say if they like Bob Marley, or something like that, then boom, they might get an ad for your game show. So it allows to target. It's streaming. We don't have to worry about being censored. And, it really is, like I said, it's our sandbox, and we can create great content, and people can kind of, like Burger King, they can have it their way. Have
it their way. That's right. Yeah, and I think we gave you the sizzle is what we... So we're really excited to have that out there and have that pushing people back to the channel. The more that we can get this information out there, that we can have fun, we can be successful in this industry. We're not a bunch of shysters. We're real people out here doing real things. And that's all of us. And that's what's great about being somewhere like MJ BizCon, being here and really connecting with everybody, and then continuing to have these sit-down conversations and continue to push this plant forward and continue to push the technology forward and continue to push the entertainment, the whole industry. The growth that we've seen over the last decade is, I think, a very small portion of what we're going to continue to see.
Right, right. And it's just really cool that we are truly helping to destigmatize something that was the victim of probably like the greatest assassination campaign ever of cannabis and hemp. You know what I mean? Like they did a really good job for like the past 100 years of demonizing that plant.
They did.
And so it's going to take a little bit for us to, get people to open up and realize that it's just a plant.
It's just a plant. And one of our history questions is who supplied almost 50% of the funding for anti-cannabis laws over the last, I think it was 20 years is the question or something like that.
Big
in the beginning, and it's Big Pharma, and you have the options on there. It's tobacco, it's alcohol, and Big Pharma. And it's amazing when you look at who's lobbied against this plant, and then you have to ask the question why. Why have they lobbied against this plant? And then you have normal people like us, that aren't necessarily politicians or those type of people that are like, we see how wrong this is and we're not going to stand for it anymore. And look around, we have a huge community of people that are doing the same thing.
And big industries, it's their nature that they don't want to be replaced. You know what I mean? Whether it's big oil or big tobacco or big pharma, when they have that top spot, they don't want to give it up for anything.
Which is why they've developed Marinol.
Exactly.
They don't want to give it up. So they have a plan with that, and I'm sure, Marinol didn't evolve out of nowhere. But they can't say, how can they say that it doesn't have any medicinal effects and then create a pharmaceutical based 100%.
Off of it. I'm pretty sure didn't the government have a patent on it?
Does.
Yeah. So they know that it works. So I'm just really excited. I cannot wait for the new season. I definitely want to see if we can help get you some sponsors and some really smooth product placement and stuff. And just let people know how they can get a hold of you, or a good way to reach out if maybe someone that's watching wants to collaborate with you.
Yeah, awesome. So I think that the best way to get involved right now is we have a Kickstarter going. And the reason we're doing that is to bring the community together around our cannabis entertainment. So we have the Kickstarter going for the card game. You can have an in-home version of our most popular game on the game show, Canna Q's. All you've got to go to Kickstarter and type in Canna, and we're the first project that pops up, or Canna-Q's. It's only $10 to get a deck. If you wait to buy it in stores, it's going to be $20. We're doing this because we want to get it in people's hands. We want people to be talking about it. We want people to be playing it with their friends before it even hits those shelves. And that's the most exciting thing. To get a hold of me directly, Kayla Heard on LinkedIn is the best way. Heard is Heard. Like, have you heard, baby?
Heard.
So reach out to me on LinkedIn. You can also find me, Kayla, at Effective Games, AFFEKTIV. Yeah, no E.
No E.
No E.
Effective.
No, effective.
Just stop with the V.
Yeah, hard stop.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, that's great. And if you get us some of these decks here, we'll give some out on social, and we'll continue doing shout outs on our podcasts and stuff like that. And so we'll give you guys some freebies, and make sure that you download CBD TV and check out the So High Game Show.
Check out the So High Game Show. And you know what? We are taking contestants for season 3. So if you hit me up on LinkedIn, you email me, go to our website, effectivegames.com. You can Google So High Game Show. Send me a message, put in your application for season 3, and maybe you can be a contestant.
Maybe we could even have, how they have like Celebrity Jeopardy?
Yeah.
We could have like celebrity.
We've talked about it. We have some things in the works. Keep your eyes on So High.
Thinking about this. Well, Kayla, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure chatting with you.
Been.
And I look forward to collaborating and doing some big things.
Awesome. Thanks, Chuck.
Thank you. Okay, everybody, this has been another episode of Cannabis Tech Talks. You were chopping it up with Chuck. Thank you so much to Kayla. Thank you to PolyScience, Summit Research, MJ Biz, Roku, CBD TV. I'm just going to start spitting things out here until they tell me to stop. Make sure, if you like this episode, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, share, leave a comment, try to be nice, and make sure you tune in next time for another episode of Cannabis Tech Talks. We'll see you again. Take care.